So one of the biggest questions that we get here on the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast and YouTube, by the way, thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends, is a 401k. Most of us, if not all of us, have 401ks where we save money. So Mike and Ryan, I'm glad that you guys are here ready to tackle this subject. And to you, it seems like it's an elementary topic because you guys are dealing with this each and every day. And so do we. But a lot of us don't know what is a 401k and how does it work. So let's talk about that today. What is a 401k and how does it work?
Well, I think the funniest example that I've ever seen about what a 401k is, and I think you've played it on our radio show, is it's Will Ferrell and Julia Louis-Dreyfus talking about retirement, and they're saying you don't have any money, and one of them goes, "Look, right here.
I'm going to get that for you. Keep talking.
We have $401,000 in this account. What about this money?" And she's like, "No, that's your 401k. There's no money in your 401k." I think that's one of the greatest clips I've ever heard. But the 401k in and of itself is a employer sponsored retirement plan where you can take your salary and either contribute to it pre-tax or after-tax money. There's many variations of it. There's the 403b, there's a 457, there's a TSP, all kinds of different variations of them. But so when Mike and I talk about 401ks, we're kind of talking about all retirement plans in general.
They're company sponsored. And what happened was, for the longest time, employers protected their employees. Since about the Second World War, there were some restrictions on wages and salaries and inflation. So what companies started doing to attract employees at the Second World and right after the Second World War is they started offering them benefits. And one of those benefits was, a retirement plan. So for, 30, 40 years, up until basically the mid to early 80s, most larger employers said, look, based upon the number of years you work for us and your salary, we will make sure that when you stop working, you have an income stream. Well, in the early 70s, mid 70s, they started coming up with some ideas about, we don't want that responsibility, it's too expensive, and we wanted to transfer the risk of retirement from employers to the employees. And so basically early 80s, they came up with the 401k, and it's a tax code section, the 401k, and it basically says employers no longer have to be responsible. You're responsible for your own retirement. You better start saving now, and you better start saving often, kind of like voters in Chicago, evidently, right? Vote early and vote often. So the 401k basically is your responsibility to contribute. Some employers will match you. They'll put money in when you put money in. So certainly, if you have an opportunity through your employer to contribute to your 401k and they have a match, you need to put enough money in to get the match. Now, most of them have somewhere around a 3 to 5, maybe 6% match. So if you put 5% of your salary in, they'll match you dollar for dollar for the first 4, 5, 6%, whatever it happens to be. So if you put $100 in, they'll match you $100. That's what you want to do, because why would you give up free money? You have to make that contribution. And most 401ks now, the rules have changed over the last couple of years where you're forced into it, which I think is good for retirees.
Yeah, they automatically opt you in. They automatically say, we're going to start you at 1% of your salary. And if you don't change it every single year, we increase that number by 1%. And it's like you said, it's really kind of the government now kind of taking control almost and saying, hey, we want to get your reliance off of Social Security and get you more being reliant upon yourself and putting money in these 401ks. Because like you said, people didn't do it for a long time. Some people still don't do it. And if like you said, if your company offers a match and you don't contribute to it, you are throwing money away, free money that your employer is trying to give you. At least the bare minimum, put in whatever amount you have to get the maximum amount of match. That is the number one recommendation that we give to anybody who ever asks us about 401ks from that nature.
There's a little button on the screen that you're watching here now. And if you click on it, you can actually, first of all, you can like and subscribe, which we do want you to do, but you can also click on to schedule an appointment with Ryan, myself, and our team. And we can walk you through the nuances of your 401k. And it's, how to get your match. Are you putting enough in to get your match? We can address that. But I think a bigger issue that people have with these 401ks is they don't understand the asset allocation, how to invest. They don't even know the fees that they're having. Most 401ks fees have fees related to the mutual funds that are in there. And then if it's a 401k that is actually controlled by an insurance company, you probably have even additional fees in there. So understanding the fees in your 401k and your retirement accounts is paramount to understanding the success rate you're going to have, how much you need to put into there, right? How much money do you need to put away every paycheck to make sure that you have enough money when you retire? That's important. Understanding the tax implications of making the contribution. Are you making it pre-tax going into the traditional 401k? Are you doing it with after-tax dollars and going into the Roth? Understanding the tax implications today versus 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now when you take the money out, you need to understand that. Understanding how you take the money out of your 401k. Think about this for just a minute. Those people, for those of you listening that remember, I don't know, Enron and those companies back then, right? What's the WorldCom? Yeah, those guys, those people lost a fortune in their 401ks because they did not understand the rules of their very own 401ks they're in. I mean, an example we've used on the radio show that we do on more than one occasion, we had a doctor who worked with an advisor at Fidelity. And Fidelity's a great 401k company, no problems there. But the doctor went to the Fidelity guy and said, I'm retiring. I have over $3 million in my 401k. I also have an IRA with you. Can I roll my 401k into my IRA? And the Fidelity guy said, sure, I'll take care of you, no problem. Rolled it over, did it 100% efficiently. Everything went exactly as planned, except for the Fidelity guy and the doctor never had the conversation about the fact that the money in the IRA was all after-tax dollars. So he should have been able to convert that into a Roth and then converted it. But because the Fidelity guy did not ask that question, because the Fidelity guy did not know what the doctor was doing ahead of time, the Fidelity guy responded to the doctor's request to roll it into his IRA. Fidelity guy did exactly what he was asked to do. The doctor didn't understand what was going on. And that's because most people do not truly understand exactly how a 401k works, the pros and cons, all the goods and all the bads, and there's multiple of each. If you want to understand exactly how those 401ks work for you, how to benefit from them, how to make sure it goes to your heirs tax efficiently, how to be the most tax efficient in it, how to get the best returns in it, how to understand in your fees, all those things that are so important, click on that little link below and schedule a time to sit down with Ryan, myself, and our team, and we can walk you through your 401k, the benefits, contributions, everything you need to know in order to maximize the benefit of that account, because this is going to be the biggest source of retirement income for you when you finally get there.
And you might be thinking to yourself, well, I have an advisor. I can always call Fidelity or T. Rowe or Prudential or who it is, and I can talk to somebody and I can ask them questions. Well, what you don't realize is that, I would say from personal experience, I worked for T. Rowe Price in their 401k division many years ago, is that you were talking to somebody who was 1 or 2 years removed from college, who probably—
Were you a vice president yet?
No, I wasn't a vice president yet, but they probably don't have that much experience, and the little experience that they do have is probably not even in that area. I can't tell you how many— I had a finance degree from college, so I at least had a rudimentary grasp at that point on 401ks and investing and all that stuff. But I had colleagues who were a criminal justice major, a sociology major, a biology major, and it really was a name to put on their resume for them as a first job out of college. So just because you're talking to someone at that
custodian
at that company doesn't mean that they have the expertise to give you the advice that you need. Just like our doctor client experience with Fidelity, you might be talking to somebody fresh out of college and they are reading from a script 100% of the time. That's what the Fidelity guy was doing. Absolutely, we can roll that over, and here's the steps that we're going to do. For people your age, we recommend X, Y, and Z. You want to be asking the questions. You want to be working with somebody who understands the ins and outs of those 401ks, of your TSP, of your 403B, your 457, any employer-sponsored retirement plan. And to sit down with Mike, myself, and our team, all you have to do is just click the link in the description below, and it'll set you up with a complimentary consultation with Mike, myself, and our team here at ProStatus.
Yeah, make sure you do that right away. And by the way, the movie that you were referencing was called The House with Will Ferrell, where he thinks
That's
that
what it
it's
was.
$401,000 and it's actually a 401k. So that was
That is hilarious.
that's a great.
And since we're talking about the house in the movie, what you don't want to do is what they had to resort to, which was create a gambling mecca in their basement, and the debacle that it became. So you don't want to go there, just like you don't want to gamble with your 401k and you don't want to gamble with your retirement.
Well, make sure not to do that, and go ahead and take Mike and Ryan on their offer to check your 401k out and make sure that that you're doing the right things, because as we're getting closer to retirement, it is a lot of decisions that we have to make, and knowing is a tremendous amount of value there. As they said, click on the description below to schedule that complimentary personalized review from ProStatus Financial, Mike, Ryan, and the team, as we are here on the YouTube channel. Man, while you're there, make sure to like and subscribe too. Guys, got to wrap things up for this YouTube episode, but we thank you, as always, for watching and for joining us. Mike and Ryan, you guys get the final word.
I'm Ryan Herbert. Thank you so much for watching the Savvy Investor YouTube channel.
And this is Mike Canet. We'll see you, the Savvy Investor, next week.